And as we continue our Black Business Spotlight all month, we're talking to the creator of a fresh take on a classic board game. It is called Ebony-opoly. While it's a team of 4 that created this game, I have one of its founders here, Dr. Dewayne Washington. Thank you for joining me in studio.
Tashara, thank you for having me.
You know, I had to correct myself earlier. I said Mr. Washington.
Okay.
No, it's Doctor around these parts. Appreciate you being here. Look, instead of that iconic, something we know, collecting $200 to pass go, in this game, you're collecting and sharing history. What is the goal of Ebony-opoly?
You know, there's several different goals. Number one is to be able to do exactly what my history teacher used to say. He said, we got to understand history because it explains how we got here. And so we can look at this board and we can look throughout history to explain how we got here. So for example, instead of the pieces on the board where you have the railroads, no, those are now stops on the Underground Railroad. There's some little bits of history. So, for example, we may think that a particular young lady was the very first black millionaire that we hear about, C.J. Walker. Well, she was actually not the first one. You will see some of that on the board as well. And so it's there to have fun. It's there to have a good time. You can learn all about the financial aspects of the game, but we also learn history as well.
So I want to talk about that, sharing history, of course, but we're also talking about money. You just mentioned finances. This game continues to talk about the conversation about wealth in the Black community, or the lack thereof in some sectors. So I really want to talk about what led to some of the barriers and kind of how you expose that within the game.
So when we look at Black wealth, it's looking at going to negative or to zero by 2050. We wanted to be able to affect that positively. So not only do we have that within the game, we actually have it with the game. So we actually sell it through Black-owned bookstores and African-American museums. So it allows them to be able to partake as well. So not only are we teaching those concepts in the game, but we also want to be able to have those concepts in the actual purchasing of the game as well.
Okay, we just had a Black-owned bookstore, so I'm just going to put you on a spot here. Do y'all sell at Black Lit at all? Have you heard of Black Lit?
I have not.
In Farmers Branch? Okay, we're going to connect. We're going to talk
about
some things. Okay,
we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
It's a Black-owned bookstore in Farmers Branch. I read on your website, from idea and concept to selling your first board game took about 9 months. That is fast. How did you guys come together so quickly to make this happen?
So we actually didn't know that was fast, right? Because we had never done it before. We all came together from kind of like 3 or 4 different places. We had one of our partners that was studying the women in the movement. We have another one of our partners in Israel, and she was all about Black Family Fridays. How do we bring those together? I'm a filmmaker, and so I was actually doing a piece on it, kind of explaining how we got here. And it just kind of came to be, and we just kind of worked on it and made it happen. It was probably a year later when people start saying, how were you able to do that so quickly? For us, we thought that was a long time, you know, from ideation to actually selling the first one. But evidently it was pretty swift. But we just put our heads down and kind of knocked it out. Did a lot of research. Everything on the game, nothing is made up. Even the little chance and chess cards, those are real scenarios that we can take you down to the individual that actually happened to.
Even more, you guys did this during the pandemic. We got to go ahead and say that 2020 is when this thing kicked off. What do you hope people as a family, and tell me this quickly, will take away from playing this game at home?
Well, number one, they'll come together as a family, number one, to be able to play it. Number two, they'll understand the history that African Americans added to this country and what we had to go through. And then they'll understand the aspects of finances as well as they go through.
Okay. Dr. Washington, appreciate you for being here. If you want to learn more about Ebony-opoly, you can go to ebony-opoly.com. That's where you can get all the details, all right?